Hi there! Welcome to Miller's Laboratory. My name is Sue and I have a couple of books that I am going to list in my Etsy shop, and I wanted to do a flip through. These are called Woodland Walk journals, and so they obviously have a woodland theme, and they're nearly identical, but I did use some different images, and of course if I use actual book pages from vintage books, then they're going to be different there. So I'll flip through one really thoroughly, and then I'll flip through the other one too, just so you get a chance to see it. These little books are small. I like this little size for tucking into your backpack or your purse, and so they are about 4 inches wide, about 6 inches tall, and then on the spine we've got a little less than an inch there. Of course, I've packed them pretty full, so they're bulging a little bit, and they're about 1.5 inches here if you measure. I'm just going to set one aside for now. All right, so I've just used a hair elastic and stitched a button on it. It's a nice little vintage button to hold the book closed, so that just slips on and off really easily. On the front, I've got some little dangles. Try to get in closer for you to see those. So there's like this gold leaf, a little mushroom bead, a little charm that looks like an owl, like a tarnished sort of verdigris owl, and then a little charm that says handcrafted. I usually try to put those on. That's held on with one of these bulb pins, so you could take that off if you wanted to. On the spine, I have used some vintage bark cloth, and there are 3 signatures you can see stitched here with waxed thread. I chose to do the tying on the outside and leave the little knots with a little bit of fringe at the top. I thought that was something cute to do for something different. And if you look closely, you could see that I have actually not only glued this fabric on, but I also zigzagged it on each side, on the front and back, to make sure that it's nice and secure. All right, let's take a look inside here. So first of all, I've used a book plate with a tree. It seemed appropriate, and I was able to save the original page. That's the first page. I'm drawing a blank of what the name of it is, but I kept that. So it's attached to this paper here. And this is the original title page of the book, The Wit and Humor of America. I've used these little books before. They were a whole series, and I have like 3 or 4 of them, and I like the size, so I work in them pretty often. Image of a fox and a fussy cut here of some periwinkle. Here I have a belly band made out of some patterned vellum, and I tucked a tag in there. Most of the real photos that you see in the book are photos that I took myself and printed out. I spend a lot of time in the woods here in West Michigan. It's really my favorite place to be, and so I take a lot of pictures while I'm out there. This is some eco-dyed paper. It's a print of it. I did not do this. It's something I purchased. And this is a little, like a plant sample page if you were collecting specimens. This is from a vintage bird book. And this page here is from it's made from a trail map. This one happens to be Wilderness State Park. So there's a side tuck here. This is a vintage image of some mushrooms in the woods. Vintage ledger page on the back. Here I've used a couple of Rolodex cards and some fussy cuts again, and just made a couple of little tiny journal cards in that pocket. And this image is just on there for decoration. Trout lily. Here I've used a couple of printouts of some old probably cigarette cards or tea cards with birds, and I just used them as to together as a belly band, and inside that I just tucked a little digital print that I printed with a tree, sort of an Art Deco kind of an image there. This is another fungi collection. Some footprints of different animals that you would see in the woods. This is another eco-dyed paper that I printed. This is one of my photos of a mushroom. I love mushrooms. I love moss. I love old trees that have like shelf fungus and different things on them, so I take a lot of pictures of those. A little lily of the valley here. Okay. This is kind of a little tuck, so in here is tucked one of these little faux envelopes, just a place to do some journaling. And then this little tuck is actually a little folded page that flips down like this. So you could do a lot of journaling in here, and then it's kind of secret. It tucks back up like that. Just some collage here. Here I have a couple of printouts of some ornithology specimen tags. These I think I got from Love Junk Journals on Etsy. And a little vintage image of a chipmunk tucked in there as a journal card. I'm kind of going back through our signature here, so seeing similar things. On this page, I have clipped an old jeweler's envelope. And inside here, this is just another book page from a different bird book. And I put it in such a way that you could see the bird through the window. And then that's just going to clip on. On the other side, this is just collage again, an image of a, I think that's a bobcat. I try to choose animals that I could possibly see here in Michigan, things that are native to me here, just because that's my inspiration. Just a little cluster here for decoration. And on this page, it's another little old image of fungi, but this one I kind of like put a little pivot with a paper fastener, so you can journal under here and you can journal on this side, and then when that is pivoted back down, you don't see it. Another belly band. A vintage postcard that I printed out. This is not original, it's something that I printed. Birds. This is another trail map, Ludington State Park, a real favorite of mine for hiking. And then here I've just used this page and tacked the corner down to make a pocket. And this is from a vintage little bird, sorry, not bird, tree guide. Just a couple little pages from that. It's another specimen page. And here's a close-up image of some bark or a tree that's rotting, something. Here I did a little origami with a leaf, and it made a pocket here and a pocket here. I just printed out again a couple of those Tracy Fox Love Junk Journal images and added a little bird on there. This is from a calendar I found at a thrift shop. Picture of a robin. This is a little pull out. See the moss? It's one of my photos. Some morel mushrooms. Those are a real find for us here. And this just flips out. It's that same tree. This is a kind of a mirror image of that folded down corner pocket. And this is, again, another postcard that I actually printed out. I did not have the original. It's from an old tree book. Another belly band here. This has got a little journal card with a raccoon on it. And this belly band actually opens up like this, so you can do some journaling inside there and then fold that back up. Here I've made some kind of multi-layered pockets and tucked a few things in here. So this is an image of a little woodpecker, and this opens up several ways. Just a little, another one of those little tea cards with a bird. And then here I've taken a couple of specimen cards. These are some that I made with my name on it, Miller's Laboratory, and then I just added some, a little bit of stamping on that one and a butterfly. Just a fussy cut of some sweet peas there. And then lastly, in this last pocket in the back, there's just another tag. A little bit of collage and lots of room to write. Another page from that bird book. Another eco-dyed printed page. There's some shelf fungus. This is a little like vintage typing paper, and I've just made it so that you can fold that down and do a little journaling and then clip that back up so it's hidden again. And then I also have a tag here that's another one of my tags where I have put on a pressed violet. That's an actual one. Little pocket with some pine cones on it, and another printed postcard. On this side we also have pine needles mostly on that one. And this is another one of those little faux envelopes that you can write in. I've had people ask me to cite where I get my digitals, and that's really hard for me to do because I get them from so many different places. I do buy kits on Etsy, but I also use the New York Public Library, and also Flickr, and so I get a lot of my images that way too. This is a vintage old dictionary page. Just a tiny little tuck here, and I've tucked in a little card. This is something I purchased at my local art museum, the Muskegon Art Museum, a whole little box of these beautiful little gift cards with watercolor prints on them. I didn't do a thing to that. It's pretty enough as it is. This page is a pocket, and inside here I have tucked an image of a vintage map of this area. This is the Ludington area, Lake Hamlin and Lake Michigan out here. And again, this is a print, but I have distressed it to make it look old. Just a pretty little fussy cut, some columbine there. These eco-dyed pages, I think they're light enough that you could write on those. I think they're just so pretty. There's an old little squirrel. And here are some more of those little origami leaves that I made. This one's just a simple pocket and a couple more of those little bird cards. This is an old, I'll just turn this sideways. This is an old insect guide page. And then here's another one of those where you can take the clip off and fold down for some journaling space. And under that I just clipped a little card with some stamping, a little leaf stamp on it, and a label. Just a little teeny one there. Here's another pull out. Some birds, another specimen page. On this page, so this was another eco dyed page. On here I made a transparency of this picture of the woods. I just thought that looked neat. I thought that would be really cool if you wrote on this underneath and then you would see that on the picture. Bird page. And then in the very back I put a little fussy cut here of some sweet woodruff. And there's my label. Again, I used the original page, so it was glued on here, and then it was the last page of the book. There was a little bit of cracking there, so I added some washi tape to reinforce it. So that's the little book. There are about 160, I put it in the listing, 168 pages. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe it's 128. I don't know. Look at the listing, because I'm not sure. Now this one I'm just going to flip through quickly because a lot of it is the same. If I notice anything that's definitely different, I will point it out. Obviously different bird from the book page. And you're going to see different images where I've done some collage. That is Lady's Slipper. Same thing here, but different cards. Little bird there. A photo, that might be a different one, I can't remember. But similar. Another different bird image, but the same idea where this flips down. And it has the little envelope inside there, the faux envelope. The little tags. This one has a little bear journaling card. And a different book page, obviously. Same thing here, except it's going to be a different page inside the envelope. And we have still have the bobcat there. The little mushrooms. And I used the same postcards here too that I tucked in, the ones that I printed. Some violets. Pretty. And these will be different pages, but still from that tree guide. A little old log with moss and some ferns. Bird cards. Obviously, if I'm doing a fussy cut, it's going to be a different one. This one has an owl. This is that old calendar page. This one had an owl instead of the robin. There's a little squirrel. It's about the same. Mushrooms, deer, a different woodpecker on this, different bird card. The tags are the same. Same here, same here. Are all the same. Obviously the dictionary page is a little different, and this little card's going to be a little different, but still trees. It's kind of the edge of the woods there. Still the same map inside that pocket. These green pages I didn't say. These are from the original book. I just dyed them. Insect page. Same little flip here. Got a mushroom here. Same transparency there. This one's got a crow and a blue jay. And there you go. So those are my two little books. As I said, if you're watching the video, then they must be listed on Etsy, and I would love for you to take a look at my shop. I'm trying to get some new stuff in there, and trying to find the time to work in my lab because my lab is missing me. Thanks again for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.